What's up, guys? Welcome back to Zilla MMA. I am your host, as always, the Zilla, and we're going to be going through the breakdown, the follow-up analysis, actually, of UFC Fight Night Yusuff versus Barboza. First, want to start off, as always, by thanking all the viewers. Really appreciate what we've done so far. Really would love to get that follower count up. Let's get the subscribers up. Go and like this video. That's really appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's done that already. Please share this with your friends so we can continue to grow the channel. This video I'm actually going to keep pretty brief today for a couple of reasons. First and foremost being that I just wasn't that crazy about this card. I liked all the fighters on it. I thought it had a lot of potential, but it just didn't pan out. Obviously, a great main event in my opinion. A few other good fights on the card, but as a whole, I didn't enjoy it all that much. And on top of that, we've got a huge card coming up this week. I plan on putting out a lot of content following up to this, so keep an eye out for that. That's why you need to be following me so you can make sure you know when the new updates are coming out. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the card. Yoder versus Dakota led this card off. Yoder didn't use her length in the way that I thought she would in my analysis. She lacked any real head movement. She was real hittable. Actually looked really good in the clinch, though. When she got in the tie clinch, she used her knees and elbows. That's when she looked her best. But I still scored this 29-28 for Dakota. Yoder just ate too many big shots and those bad cuts on her face. It's not a great visual, so not surprised she didn't get the decision here. But it was a close fight. Good dog for us to take in that spot. Unfortunately, didn't go our way. Next fight, Gutierrez versus Alatong Haley. And Gutierrez just had a great all-around fight here. I mean, as we discussed in the breakdown video, good feints. He made this enormous welt, just this bubble on Arichi Lang's leg with his kicks. Outstruck him start to finish, but showed a little bit of vulnerability on takedowns at the end of the fight. That's something maybe to look for going forward. But as I said in the breakdown, Alatong Haley not the level of a wrestler to be able to expose that in this spot. So Gutierrez took this one pretty easily. And I will say, with this fight, I was already kind of regretting my pick of not taking Martinez, one of his teammates, in his fight upcoming, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The next fight being Alex Siva versus Dixon. Dixon looked good early on the feet, but got dropped. From there on, she used dominance and grappling to control the fight. She handled Alex Siva on the ground for the majority of every round. So even though she took that one bad shot, she looked pretty solid here. Not a fight that I find to matter all that much. I'm not very high on either of these ladies, but yeah, Dixon took that one in that spot. Moving on to McKinney versus Marat, and not a ton to be said about this fight. McKinney made quick work of this fight, just as we had said that he would, landing a big knee. Like I said, not too much to analyze here, but McKinney is the guy we thought he is. He can go out there and get the big knockout, so good fight for him there. Another fight, just not that great, Lisboa versus Oliveira. Lisboa put on a good performance here. I thought she was better than Oliveira pretty much everywhere coming into the fight, and she did what she needed to do here, so took care of business, got the win there. Elkins versus Brown, very interesting fight here in my opinion. Brown, for some reason, just insisted on keeping this fight on the ground. I don't understand why that's what he wanted to do. He had multiple opportunities to take it back to the feet, and he was just content rolling around with Elkins. And as I said on the broadcast, it's just a terrible decision because these scrambles on the ground are really where Elkins thrives. So just a poor game plan here that pretty much handed this thing to Elkins. Disappointing showing from Brown in this spot. I really thought he could do something for us here, but Elkins is going to take that one. Then we have my dog of the week, which was Simon coming into this one against Rodriguez. Back and forth fight, really. Rodriguez and Simon here, both showing good wrestling and jiu-jitsu and striking, but unfortunately Rodriguez just got the better of these exchanges. Uh, I hate to say that I think him having that extra weight might have had a little bit of a reason of why he was able to look so dominant in this spot. I mean, he was a little bigger. He had to put his body through a little less with the weight cut. So that might have played a factor here, not trying to make excuses because both these guys are good fighters. Uh, Rodriguez probably going to have to move up after this one, though. You can't miss weight twice like that and be able to stay where you're at. But I think there's a future for both these guys. Simon obviously still very young, so that's my takeaway from that one. Moving into Pereira versus Petrosky. This is one I was really big on. If you listen to my pre-fight analysis, I mean, quick work here for Pereira. I felt very strongly that Petrosky was overrated, and I think it's finally proven here. He didn't stand a chance on the feet against Pereira and found himself at the end of a knockout in the first round. So that one definitely went our way. And then into that Martinez versus Yanez fight, as I said earlier, I was regretting this after seeing the Gutierrez fight. These guys can kick. I mean, Martinez come in completely destroying Yanez's leg, got his second UFC stoppage via leg kicks. So both Martinez and Gutierrez are guys to keep an eye on going forward. Then into the co-main here, Arujau versus Maya. Close fight here, but I just don't have that much to say about this. Arujau held up better than I thought she would, better than her last fight, so I guess that's something to take away. I was a little surprised to see all three judges give round one to her. I thought it was a really close round, but at the end of the day, I really don't think that either of these fighters matter long term in the division. I don't find this to be all that impactful. So good for Arujau in this spot, but I just don't think it particularly matters that much. And then the main event, obviously a great fight here. Actually kind of went differently than I expected, almost the opposite of what I expected, if I'm being honest with you. I thought Barboza would come out trying to touch up Yusuff early, try and keep the fight on the feet. But in the first round, Yusuff looked like the one who wanted to fight on the feet. I mean, he was pushing him, uh, put Barboza down early in a spot where it looked like the fight was over. I certainly think that was a 10-8 round. I think it's crazy that there was a judge of this fight who did not give that a 10-8 after the whole debacle we've had with that as of late. I think that was a very clear-cut, obvious 10-8. But after that, though, he kind of started to fade. I haven't gone back to watch it since my first watch through yet. I thought that Yusuff took round two. Uh, but after that, I mean, it's all Barboza in 3, 4, and 5. Knocked down Yusuff himself in 3, I believe. Yeah, I really don't know why he never tried to take this to the ground. I mean, Barboza actually ended up landing a takedown late in this fight, so I don't know why Yusuff didn't use that element of his game. Like I said, I thought Yusuff got the second. I had this scored as a draw, but this is not an MMA robbery in any way, in my opinion. I think Barboza did what he needed to do to win this fight. Not the way I would have scored it, but I understand where the judges are coming from here. And after the first, Barboza he returned from the dead and won this fight. So great fight for him. I love to see it for Barboza. As I said on the analysis video, that I really have a soft spot for Barboza, so I'm glad to see him still thriving in the UFC. So that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff coming up this week. This is obviously an enormous card. I think I'm going to try and break it down into a few videos just because I'm going to have so much analysis on the main and co-main. Each of those might end up getting their own video. I'm thinking of releasing one of those tomorrow, another one on Wednesday, and then perhaps the full card video on Thursday. Not 100% sure if that's how all this is going to break down yet, but like I said, really need you guys to go like and subscribe, tell all your friends, bring people to the channel. I want to keep putting content out there, and that's going to help me do that. So, again, really appreciate it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.